All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect that is scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, that believe wholeheartedly in the true doctrine that is being pushed throughout the four winds of the earth, who are in hope of mercy and salvation in these last seconds of Esau Edom's rule, all right, as well as known as Jacob's trouble, all right, okay, and of course when Yahweh Shai returns to the planet Earth, all right, to you only, the hopeful members of the elect, I say shalom, and may Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai be with you in these trying times, all right. Yeah. So once the Lord put the spirit on these tribes to start to see what Esau Edom is actually doing, all right. And what I'm talking about and referring to is these things that have been happen that has come to the surface, and people are saying allegedly, and we hope this is what's happening. Okay, ain't no doubt in my mind. I'm 100% sure. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, this is what Esau Edom does. All right. We're starting to see the devil show his horns. All right. Scriptures tell us to marvel not, for even Satan have transformed himself into an angel of light. All right. Just because they could put on a suit, and talk these sweet nothings to you on TV, doesn't mean that they're not the devil. Their actions are showing exactly why they're the devil. All right. So, like I said, once the Most High put the spirit on the tribes to actually see what's going on, what's happening to their loved ones that are being deported, U.S. status being erased from databases, all right, and nowhere to be found, no flight log of where they took them, this, that, and the third, and they start to see these things like this, migrants put in shackles for Trump deportation flights, and they're loading them onto these C-130 cargo planes, and then you have this holiday horror as 5 bodies with shackled hands and feet wash up on beach at tourist hotspot. Now this was just in one day, it was 5 bodies, but since January it's been about 30 some odd bodies that have washed up in the same type of condition, shackled hands and feet, okay, just washing up on the shore, body decomposed. All right, and you can imagine a lot of those bodies being eaten by the sharks and predatorial animals that are in these oceans. Okay, so you best believe any moment, any day, violence will erupt to the point of no return here in Babylon the Great. All right, we're witnessing the genocide of our people. We're witnessing Agenda 2025 or Project 2025 at hand. When the devil told you he don't know nothing about it, they don't know nothing about it, that's not what they're doing. They're doing it right in your face. And when you people wake up, it's going to be violence, all right, like I said, to the point of no return. Because you got these Latin tribes, family members being taken, wives being taken, children being taken, and now you have this starting to show up. And I'm going to play this video that the beloved brother Mike Allah put together, a compilation of these things taking place. And this is we're itching towards all right, or fastly moving towards the point of no return, all right. If we get out of the summer, like I said this before, if we get out the summer and ain't nothing major cracked off, then hey, the Most High didn't want it to crack off. But the way this devil is moving, how sloppy he's becoming, and he's not giving a fuck, all right? He's committing genocide over in one part of the earth, and then now he's being caught. And I'm not going to say allegedly, because I don't believe allegedly. I believe this is what he's doing, all right? Put two and two together, man, especially given the times that we're living in, and especially knowing the prophecies of the Bible. Okay, this is what he's doing. All right? And this is why we've been warning you tribes for the longest, man. Now you're seeing the devil and his horns showing. Okay? And what's going to happen is when you tribes start to put two and two together, you're going to be outside and you're going to be doming these agents, these mass agents, which is coming out that they're not even federal agents. These are just normal Idumeans, all right? So all kind of videos coming out showing that they're not even real federal agents. This is why they're wearing masks and hiding themselves, all right? And they're getting money for each so-called migrant that they're bringing in. So they're playing a hand in the genocide of your people. They're playing a hand in the genocide of your loved ones being loaded on these cargo planes and dumped out in the goddamn ocean. We told you we were in the time of judgment. We told you that the days are evil and that you're supposed to be walking circumspect out here. We told you. And now look what's coming out to the surface. All right? The devil was at work mightily. Okay? And it ain't going to do nothing but force the hand of you tribes to get violent back. All right? And then it's going to be all out war in the street. This is what these elite bankers want. And they're going to get it. All right? It's going to be a bloodbath here in Babylon very soon, man. All right? Very soon. I mean, it's going to hit at all angles. Like the scriptures tell us in Isaiah the 47th chapter. In a moment and in one day. Okay? People are already fed up. People are already angry. Already can't find their loved ones. And when they catch wind of this, oh yeah, point of no return. All right? And now they're starting to grab up the southern kingdom, beginning with Levi and Benjamin. They erased 500,000. Let me see if I can pull that article up. Homeland Security erases 500,000. Let me see. $500,000 Haitian American I forgot one more zero. Haitian American immigrants. Let me see if it comes up. Yep, there it is. Department of Homeland Security announces termination of TPS for 500,000 Haitians. All right? So what is that telling you? It's no longer about the Latin tribes. Now they coming after the kingdom of Judah. All right? And there's videos surfacing on TikTok where Judah is actually rumbling with the fucking ICE agents. All right, it's finna get violent out here, very violent. All right, it's about to get violent. Blood is about to be shed. Okay, and once that happens, that's the point of no return. Shit, really, we already at the point of no return. It's just that our people are so docile, they don't see the devil at work. Okay, dumping you out of planes, man. So as you can see here, Department of Homeland Security announces termination of TPS for 500,000 Haitian immigrants in early September. All right, and they've already doing it. They saying early September, but they already enacting, going after the tribe of Levi, which are the Haitians. All right. That's just them putting it on books so they can, justify themselves. And to you, you agents out there, don't get too comfortable. All right. You got the upper hand now, but the Lord gonna make it do what it does. All right. These things that are happening is going to do nothing but rouse up Judah. And once Judah's roused up, it's over with. And we're going to read the scriptures. All right? So let's check this video out. And I will stop and stop and go. Make a, comment and of course bring out the scriptures as we roll. All right.
So what you have here is you have one story that migrants in the United States have been routinely shackled at the waist, wrists, ankles, and loaded onto cargo planes. Not just cargo planes, but cargo planes with the rear doors that can open mid-flight. Completely separate story. 5 corpses with their hands and feet bound have been found floating in the sea off the coast of Majorca. And
when you read that article, it tells you that it seems like they were in a scuffle and were thrown overboard after being caught. That's bullshit. All right, that's bullshit. Explain the 31 bodies since January of this year. See, the devil is running out of lives, man. Even his own kind they're the ones reporting this. Mostly, it's the Edomites that's reporting this. Okay, Jake's still turning up. Okay, having a so-called lit summer. Can't wait for the 4th so they can be outside. Because I believe the 4th lands on a Friday this year. All right? And who knows what can happen then. Okay? We one event away from shit hitting the fan in the point of no return, man. One event.
Since January, 31 bodies have been recovered there.
These aren't commercial flights. They're military-style planes with no windows, metal floors, and a rear ramp that can open mid-air. The U.S. uses private contractors like Global X to run these flights.
I've got questions. I'd like to know why we are seeing these examples of ICE detainees being loaded specifically on cargo planes that have the kind of ramps that can be opened during flight.
Clutch those pearls, folks, because not only is it fuckery about, this stuff is truly fucked up. We're going to talk about 2 things. The second one I'm going to talk about is RFK's wearable tech. The first one I want to talk about is the fact that people are being disappeared out of the American system. Now, I'm still digging into this. However, there are multiple reports across multiple platforms that there have been American citizens swept up in ICE raids. Now, we know this. Now, here's where the problem lies. These people are going and they're being like, hey, I'm an American citizen. And ICE is turning around and being like, no, you're not. You're not in the system. Driver's licenses gone. Social security numbers gone. Work records gone. And when their families are showing up with these documents, they're being accused of forging the documents.
Did you know that during the Dirty War from 1976 to 1983, between 10 to 30,000 people were kidnapped, tortured, and disappeared? Mostly political dissidents, activists, students. And one of the horrific methods they used was that victims were sedated, loaded onto military planes or helicopters, flown out over the Atlantic Ocean, and then thrown out.
The Lord is having these Edomites bring this information out. And that's scriptural. Let's get that. Psalms the 68th chapter. Right? We are etching towards the point of no return, man. Okay? Let's get there real quick. Psalm 68. Salaki. Oh, I'm sorry, not 68, 64. Psalm 64, Salakia. 64 and 8, I believe it is. Yep. Psalm 64. Matter of fact, we could read this whole chapter real quick, all right? Because this was a prayer in the form of a song that King David wrote about his enemies, all right? Psalm 64:1, to the chief musician, the Psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. And right now, all tribes are a target. I don't know if they ain't told you. We've been telling you. You're a target. If you ain't seen this administration, all right, these different countries, that the beast system, all Idumeans, man. Eat them. And they're moving with their agenda. They want their new world order up and running by the year 2030. They want everything going. They want AI controlling everything. They want everybody C-hip, and they want the population down to 500 million. That means the offing and killing of approximately 7 billion people on the planet. And they've already begun, all right? And they began that back in the end of 2020, going to 2021 with the jump shot. And now they're speeding up the process in the form of deportation, what they're doing over there in Gaza, all right? And they haven't even activated the juice that's in these people lying dormant, waiting to do what it does, okay? They haven't even activated that, okay? Verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And that's these crackers, these white people, man. Especially the ones in power. These ones that we see reporting, you know what I'm saying? Like this guy here. You know, they harmless. You know, they're just bringing out the information. And this is why we read in Psalm 64. All right? Because their own tongue is falling upon themselves. See, Jake ain't gonna listen to the prophets. They gonna listen to Edomites, man. Okay? That's who they gonna listen to. When Edom bring it out, that's when they gonna think, that's when they gonna see it's real. All right? So we're seeing the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. We're seeing them at work. We see them clearly. Okay? It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Oh yeah, we're going to deport you back to your country. But now it's coming out that they ain't even taking them to these countries. They're taking them over these bodies of water and dumping them while they're shackled. All right, committing mass murder, genocide. And they've done it before. They just doing it again. They doing it in secret. All right, they doing it in secret. But the evidence is starting to come to the surface. Bodies washing up. Articles. All right, putting 2 and 2 together. All right. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And they doing it without no fear. All right. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? You know, they out there grabbing you up. Regular Edomites that's doing jobs for the federal government, getting up to $2,000 per head of so-called migrants. All right, covering their faces. All right, straight up Edomite supremacists. All right, that are happy to do what they're doing. Okay. It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And that's talking about the elite bankers, because they the one that devised this plan and put it in motion and got these other lower level Edomites doing the groundwork. All right. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded, because the Lord gonna reverse this thing to where it's gonna be all out war. Now I can see race wars. All right, which I could see them before, but now I can see how the race wars is gonna come into play. All right. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. See? And this is what you're seeing. These Edomites bringing out the history. I had never even heard of this dirty war until last night. All right? And this was propagated by the U.S. government. All right? Even though they had, it was the Argentinian government that played it out, but it was propagated by the U.S. government when they put that the puppets up in there to do this thing, to take over Argentina. All right. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doings. And this is all the Most High's doing. All right. This is all Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is doing. All right. Isaiah the 45th chapter. All right. I create light. I create darkness. I create light. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. So it's the Most High orchestrating this thing on both sides. And if you're not right, you're not seeking Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and repentant in the form of believing his prophets and showing that godly sorrow of repentance, you will be caught up out here. All right, you will be caught up out here. It says, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doings. And we know and understand that this is the Heavenly Father's doing. All right. It gets us upset. Like I was listening to Elder Malcolm's video he did on this. You know, you get upset, but then you check you check yourself, because you know exactly why the Lord is doing this. All right. And we got to wait on the Lord until he rises up to pray. All right, until he give us power, Lord will we be a part of that number. Then we gonna be able to act out and do what the scriptures say the elect will do. Okay, it says the righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. And that's talking about the elect. All right, so let's go back.
Atlantic Ocean, and then thrown out.
If you can't see that, that's one of those cargo planes. And that's them loading up so-called migrants off of the bus straight into that cargo plane. Okay? And this, I believe, it's Omaha, Nebraska. All right? So, all that shit that you tribes, you can't do, they fucking doing it, man. They can't do that. Nigga, they doing it. You better repent. You better keep your loved ones close. All right?
There is no ends to which people will go to in order to maintain the coherence of their current belief system, irrespective of the amount of contrary evidence that they are exposed to, because then that triggers cognitive dissonance. And as a matter of fact, paradoxically, what often happens, as I'm sure you know, Jordan, when I expose you to contrary information, it only solidifies your position.
Look, this woman right here. Okay? She ain't no criminal. She probably work at Jack in the Box. Okay? Making pennies, peanuts on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Surviving, taking care of her children. All right? And these are the type of people that they're throwing out of them fucking planes, man. And again, we know and understand that the Lord is doing this, man. But when the emotions, when Jake, the tribes get to putting 2 and 2 together, and them emotions get stirred up, guys like this and all them other agents that you see out there, they're going to become a target. And we're going to show you that in the Bible. All right?
Are you from this country? No, what's your reaction to being detained? What's your reaction to being detained?
In Southern California, dramatic videos show federal agents detaining day laborers in Home Depot parking lots and chasing farm workers across fields.
What you're doing is kidnapping!
The street vendor clung to a tree as agents tried to bring her into custody. According to the Department of Homeland Security, more than 1,600 people have been taken into custody in LA alone in the last 3 weeks. An all-out blitz promised by Border Czar Tom Homan at the start of the raids.
Are there more days coming ahead?
Absolutely. We're going to be out there every day.
President Trump.
This is getting ready to bring 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Let's get that. Let's get that, man. Let's get it, man, because this, you know, I'm trying to keep it together. Because it pisses you off, man. You know? It makes you upset, but then, like I said, you got to check your emotions at the door. All right? 2nd Ezra 15 and 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And that's what's happened. Our people are being led as a flock to the slaughter. They're being slaughtered, man. Okay? Because of your ignorance. All right? Hosea the 4th chapter tells you, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. All right? Trusting in this devil. The Bible tells us, never trust thine enemy. As iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. Okay? Let me see. Yep. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's going to ultimately happen. All right. But right now, our people are being led as a flock to the slaughter because they have no knowledge. Okay. It says, Egypt shall mourn and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. All right. I'm about to jump down because I want to get to this point here. I'm going to go to 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And like I said, once 2 and 2 start to equal 4, all right, once these tribes start to put 2 and 2 together and see what's really going on with these so-called ICE deportations and raids and whatnot, and what's happening to their loved ones, it's gonna be on. Ain't gonna be no talking. All right, there will be no more talking, man. Okay, it's gonna go from 0 to 100 real quick, and I'm talking about from the tribes. Esau already on 100. You tribes are still on 0. You still on 0 while he dumping your loved ones into the goddamn ocean. But you gonna go from 0 to 100 real quick when you start to put 2 and 2 together. And you can't find you down at the goddamn deportation building. You bringing documents of your family members that was taken to show that they weren't immigrants. And they can't, and they're no longer in the system. And they telling you, oh, those are forged documents because they're not in the system. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna absolutely fucking lose it out here, man. Okay? The point of no return is right around the corner, man. Shit hitting the fan is right around the corner. And these devils, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They not oblivious to what the hell's going on. All right? They know exactly what they're doing. From Homan to this goddamn devil, Stephen Miller, RFK, all these goddamn devils that are a part of this man's administration. What the hell you think Make America Great Again means? It ain't never been great for none of the tribes. Okay? Verse 16, this is the point right here. For there shall be sedition among men. And this can very well cause the sedition to start to ensue out here, man. Okay? Not giving a fuck. This dude homing and talking about, yeah, we're gonna keep doing it. And then the tribes finding out you dumping motherfuckers in the ocean, bodies being washed. Wait till these bodies start washing up back in the States. You know? For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right? It ain't gonna, once it's on, it's on. Okay? The course of their actions is gonna be the power that they're gonna stand in. All right? When you got nothing to lose, you fucking lose it, man. All right? And that's when Esau really gonna have to bring out the big guns. All right? More than likely we'll come back to this. Let's go back. These proud fucking devils, man.
Absolutely. We're gonna be out there every day.
President Trump reiterating today he wants to deport 1 million undocumented immigrants a year.
Thank you for fighting for all Americans. Americans are finally getting what they voted.
Americans is referring to white people. It has nothing to do with you tribes, all right? I don't give a fuck if you were born here. It's not talking to you. They're not talking to you. They're talking to white people. Okay? That's who they're talking to. They're not talking to you when they say Americans are getting finally what they voted for. They're not talking to you, man. Okay? And you're going to realize that very soon.
For. No longer will we have rogue judges striking down President Trump's policies across the entire nation. No longer. Today, in the 6-3 opinion, Justice Barrett correctly holds that the district court lacks authority to enter nationwide or universal injunctions. These lawless injunctions gave relief to everyone in the world instead of the parties before the court.
This is true.
Let me get another scripture. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And that's what that Idumean bitch just said. That cave bitch. All right, that's what she was just talking about. She was talking about unrighteous decrees and grievousness which they have prescribed. So whatever this administration puts on the books, it can't be stopped by Congress or any of that. Okay? It's on. Now you tribes gonna catch on soon. You gonna catch on soon, and you ain't gonna be able to control your emotions. You gonna lash out. All right? Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and that's what they're doing. All right? They're not giving these tribes nothing. Ain't no fairness going on. You sending them mail to tell them to come and settle their asylum. When they get there, you detaining them. All right? And you throwing them out of fucking planes. It says, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey. We just showed you them women that was being grabbed up. All right? And that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation? And in the desolation which shall come from far, to whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? See, the Lord got something for you devils, man. All right? You devils got it coming. All right? You're not just going to get away with what you're doing. Goddamn demons. Now check this out.
Jermaine Thomas. Jermaine was just deported.
Back it
Give
up.
relief to everyone in the world instead of the parties before the court.
This is Jermaine Thomas. Jermaine was just deported to Jamaica, a country he's never been to. Jermaine is the son of a U.S. Army soldier who served nearly 20 years in the U.S. Army. Jermaine was born in 1986 when his father was serving in Germany. Jermaine was born on a U.S. Army base in Germany.
And you Negro tribes think it ain't coming to you? We told y'all you was next. We told you you was next. All right? Which brings me to Genesis, the 49th chapter. Which this was our forefather Jacob. And this is what he told his sons. I'm going to start at the top. And I'm going to jump down to verse 9. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons, which are the tribes, the sons which became tribes, the tribes of the nation of Israel, and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. We in the last days. Jumping down to 8 and 9. All right. It says Judah. Judah is the so-called Negro in America. All right. In particular, the Negro. But then Judah was referred to as all of the southern kingdom, meaning Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. This is where the term Jews came from. All right. But this Judah in particular, this is the head tribe, the Negroes. All right. That came over to Babylon the Great in cargo slave ships. All right. Majority of that boat were Negroes. You had Benjamin and Levi amongst them as well. but majority were the tribe of Judah. Okay? You know, the well documented. You know, we've seen the pictures being packed in them ships, thrown off of the ships, leaving trails of bodies to where the sharks would follow the ships. All right? Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, because Judah gonna get cracking on these motherfuckers with this deportation shit. All right? And that's a literal hand in the neck of your enemies. All right? That's literal. Meaning killing these goddamn devils, man. All right? I always, when I read this, it reminds me of the movie The First Purge. That famous staircase scene where the main character, which was a Judite, he squeezed the life out of that Edomite that was masked, and they were going through the projects committing genocide on our people. He squeezed the life out of that motherfucker, and I love that scene. Okay? You can see the veins popping out of Jake's neck, out of his shoulder muscles, everything. You can see he really meant that. You know, they really dramatized that scene in that movie. All right? And every time I read this, I think of that scene. All right? It says, thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, thy father's children shall bow down before thee, because all the tribes are going to realize that Judah is the head tribe. All right? Okay? Mainly because Yahweh Shai, all right, is of that tribe, and the Most High himself, all right, are Judites, so-called Judites. Well, I ain't gonna say so-called, but Judah. All right? Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion. All right? Who shall rouse him up? The Most High is getting ready to rouse up Judah. All right? With these deportations. Okay? This man ain't never been to Jamaica. Born on a U.S. Army base. Father served over 20 years in the military. They're showing you that they don't give a fuck. They're trying to make America great again, which means make America white again and put these niggas and these spiggers back in slavery and kill off majority of them. Y'all can't see the what's going on? Oh, you gonna see though. You gonna see.
Son of a U.S. citizen, Army soldier, who served nearly 20 years in the Army. But the United States of America has decided that Jermaine Thomas is not a U.S. citizen. He's not a citizen of Jamaica. He's not a citizen of Germany. He is a man without a country.
Breaking just moments ago, NBC News reporting that ICE is preparing to deploy tactical units known as Special Response Teams to 5 Democratic-run cities. Those cities, Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, Northern Virginia, and New York. It's not clear if these raids will begin immediately, but all special response teams in those areas have been told to be ready to deploy.
If y'all don't think this is we here, I don't know what the hell to tell y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? And what the fuck are you other Israelite groups talking about, man? What are y'all doing? You're not warning the flock, as the scriptures tell us to do.
Or otherwise, we're here, we're not going away. Border Patrol officers.
If you notice, all these motherfuckers that they putting in front of the TV and talking about this deportation and Border Patrol and ICE and all that, they all fucking crackers, man. They all Edomites. And they telling you with proud looks on their face, we ain't going nowhere until the job is done. And y'all still docile, still think you finna have a lit summer. Okay, keep playing.
Field operations in Air and Marine, you'll see us in Los Angeles. You'll continue to see us in Los Angeles. Not going anywhere soon. As for the violence and the demonstrators,
Violence will not deter us. The CBP mission here in Los Angeles.
And it's gonna get to the point to where the violence is it's gonna scare you motherfuckers. Once Jake start putting 2 and 2 together. When one of them ICE agents get their motherfucking noodles blown out their head, point blank range. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna back their ass up, and then that's gonna be it. All out war, chaos, and destruction from here on out. From that point on out. Okay? It's gonna be on, man. We one incident away. That's it. One incident away from the Lord shutting the doors of mercy, removing his prophets from the highways and byways, and letting all hell break loose.
ICE agents just got a new power, and leaked emails obtained by 404 Media show exactly what they're doing. It's called Mobile Fortify. Point a phone at anyone's face, and it instantly tells you who they are. This tech uses the same database that takes your photo when you enter and leave the U.S. Millions of Americans who have traveled internationally are in the system. The leaked emails show ICE can now scan faces in the field, no warrant, no probable cause, just point and identify. The app has something called...
We have some serious news right now. A new New York Times report is shedding light on the systematic abuses within America's immigration detention system. Undocumented migrants sometimes have gone weeks without shower. They are not being provided necessary medical care for high blood pressure and more. Others have been forced to sleep on the ground. As of June 15th, there are 56,000 individuals in ICE custody in these detention facilities. That's more than the maximum amount that the detention facility should be holding.
I'm gonna sit right here.
And Jake, he on point with this, right?
And tell y'all where y'all fucking up at. I'm gonna tell you where you fucking up. If you sit here and think that them swooping up Mexicans and Latinos and people who speak Spanish, basically, and somehow you ain't gonna end up on that list, that's where you fucking up at. The other way you fucking up is not recognizing that they can try to eliminate one group before they move to the next group. You don't see that? See, when you stand by and watch evil being done, you stand by and watch it. Be like, ain't got nothing to do with me. That's their fault. You become the fucking evil. You get that. Is that right?
See, you see Judah being roused up. And you're going to start to see more and more of our people become roused up. And they're going to go out there and they're going to be moving based upon their emotions. All right? And we've been telling you this. You know, it's no longer coming. It's here. All right? It's no longer coming, man. It's here. All right? We are here and we damn near at the point of no return, man. All right? Let's read this and then we'll close it out. All right? Matter of fact, let's go to the 16th chapter. All right, the beginning of great death. Okay? Let me get that, and then I'll close it out. Here we go. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17 says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. All right, everything that Ezra saw, we're starting to see now. I was at camp Saturday. I was telling bros, when I be taking my load up to 5 going up to Sacramento, and you see all that, you see the farmland and whatnot. I could see the grapes dangling from the vine, you know, from the fucking freeway. Ain't nobody picking them. You could actually see the grapes dangling from the vine. You could see the strawberries. Okay? And you might see one batch of so-called migrants in one field, and it ain't even probably 20 of them. And they out there on some, you know, sneak type shit. Okay? Usually, both sides of the freeway, because it's if you know anything about the 5 freeway going north, you know both sides, whether you're going north or south, there's nothing but farmland all the way up. All right, we talking 6 hours worth of a drive. You see a majority farmland. All right, whether they're trees, almond trees, grapevines, orange trees, whatever. That's all you're seeing. Okay, but you don't see nobody picking that goddamn fruit and them nuts, man. Okay, you don't see nobody out there getting them. You just see the fruit dangling. Okay? So it says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, and we should know what we should be doing. Holding fast to that which we have, all right, as Yahushua said, all right, that which ye have, hold fast till I come, all right. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, and that's what we seeing. These things that are happening are scourges for Jake's correction. Like I said earlier, you can say, well, they can't do that, nigga. They doing it. What don't you understand about what time you living in? They doing it, nigga. No marching, no petition signing, whatever the hell you think you can do and go with his try to do it legally, that's not gonna work. We ain't in them times no more. It's over with. Your only option is repentance to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai as an Israelite. That's your only option, man. Okay? It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And that's how we know the majority of you are getting ready to be destroyed, and you're going to be killed out here because you don't think fat meat is greasy. All right? Let's go to Revelation 2. Let's get what Yahweh Shai said. I went to 22. Salaki. Revelation 2 and 25, all right? It says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And this is to the hopeful elect. This knowledge that the Lord has given us, all right, that's keeping us stable. As the scriptures say, in your patience possess ye your souls. All right, this wisdom and knowledge that we've been given, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We got to hold this fast, man. And understand what time we living in. And understand that the Lord is the one judging our people. Okay? And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right? That's when we going to get power. All right? The Lord is going to give us power if we hold fast to what he has given us. All right? And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. All right, and I will give him the morning star. Spiritual power, man. This is how we gonna get back at these fucking nations, beginning with Esau, Edom. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. All right. So with that, man, hey, we here. Make no mistake about it. One event away from all hell breaking loose and the shit hitting the fan, and everybody will be tested out here. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Lord will, this was edifying to the hopeful elect and exhorting, and we on to the next. Shalom.